I think that the absence of TV3 on those when you are not even privy to why TV3 is absent, you are not privy to what actually led to the selection. TV3 might not be available because 5 to 8 on a Sunday might not. I don't know. But you see what I'm saying. Again, the point is that you are mentioning TV3. There are other notable TV stations within Accra and which are considerable nationwide coverage. What is not, and which were not on the schedule.
This is intentional deliberation.
Oh,
I mean, it's
all right. Can we start the
let's promote fairness.
There's a lot of desperation, my brother. Move away and let's move. There's a lot of desperation because I really didn't think this was a point.
But I have to.
You are not privy to what went in coming out with this TV station. So,
all right,
what is your point?
I have to categorically say that by way of our editorial policy, we do a lot of fair and balanced, objective discussion. Before we make choices as to who should come, who does not come, we also make sure for the critical stakeholders who are involved in the discussion, we also have great communication with them, even with the choices of the individuals that will represent each of the political divide or all the political divides when it comes to the issues that will become of national concern. And there are no biases at all. If there are individuals out there, whether they are in MPP or NDC, who feel that there's some level of unfairness or bias, they can state their own position. But I can categorically say that there's no agenda whatsoever. There's no intention whatsoever. We just ask the critical questions if we have to. Perfect. And we have some of the most experienced journalists and even some of the brilliant and intelligent young journalists right here when it comes to 3 News.
Absolutely.
And we do that without any prejudice at all.
And in all of that, you can also deprive people of their opinions about your editorial policy. People are entitled to their opinions.
And you see, people
are entitled to their opinions on your editorial policy.
The Constitution does not say a journalist should be neutral. It only says that be fair and balanced.
Forget it. That is in reference to national media.
And I have to categorically say that
this is a private media,
the right of the DMP
which can select its own editorial policy.
Which media house that they want to advertise or perhaps air their content on. We are open as much as possible. Well, if not the leading, but the most watched TV station. I can proudly say that based on what the statistics and the indexes are, but as it is, we're there for everyone, all encompassing. We've been here since 1997, and I can, by way of my association with the company, also indicate that we're fair, we're objective, we're balanced as far as this is related.
Thank you.
Now, can we start the discussion?
No, you allowed Judy to bring out the topic, so I think that I deserve a right to also. Based on the NDC's assessment of certain programs in this country, you say the
NDC or EduG's assessment?
NDC.
Okay.
NDCs, they've been absent from very big platforms. Pacesetters within the radio industry, they've been absent for years, based on their assessment of the host or the producer or the outcome of the program itself. And then this morning you sit here and without any information, you accuse the NPP of being vindictive. Vindictiveness about what? They are notable TV stations, be they regional or national in nature, which are absent. You don't know what led to the selection of this TV stations. You don't even know whether TV3 was approached and whether they were available, whether cost was. You don't have the information. So I don't see how come you sit here this morning to accuse the DMB campaign team of being biased against TV3. Unless we are here every time. On Saturday, we participate in all your shows. If we had taken a stance like the NDC is done on other platforms, I'm sure that I would not be sitting here this morning. But then again, I'm sure that your viewers and everyone else is also entitled to their views on your editorial policy, and that point must be made. Thank you.
Well, I've also made that point clear, and we're all stakeholders in Ghana's development and governance and transparency as well. Now, that said, today we want to start a discussion on that 70-point agenda, and briefly, we also know that Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa inaugurated some units of houses for the spillage victims following the Akosombo Dam disaster. So we'll just have a word or two on the subject. But let's get some insights again, do a recall of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia before we get in detail of that 70-point agenda.
What is probably the most remarkable development in terms of the economy is that our government has created 2.1 million jobs between 2017 and 2022, notwithstanding the global economic crisis. The public sector recruited 1.2 million people, while the private sector created 975,000 jobs, according to SNIT data. We recruited 100,000 more health workers, 100,000 more teachers, we more than doubled the fire service personnel, and so on. Our government clearly has created more jobs in the last 7 years than any other government in the Fourth Republic. The move towards private sector provision of many public services would create the fiscal space of at least 3% of GDP annually. This represents a major paradigm shift. Additionally, an efficient system of governance will require even fewer ministers. I would have, therefore, no more than 50 ministers.
And Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia said there is going to be a growth mindset curriculum to help students develop critical skills such as problem solving, among others. There's a focus on STEM, expand infrastructure of medical schools, even law schools are greatly involved. Ensure there is fiscal discipline through an independent fiscal responsibility council enshrined in the Fiscal Responsibility Act. I think this is very important. Reduce the number of ministers to 50, very critical as well. No candidate so far has indicated that. The Fiscal Responsibility Act will also be amended to add a fiscal rule that requires a budgeted expenditure in any year does not exceed 105% of the previous year's tax revenue. And then we're also going to have, from Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, if he becomes president, the introduction of a very simple citizen and business-friendly flat tax regime. So we're going to have a flat tax regime. There are going to be tax amnesties available, electronic and faceless audit by the GRA. So it means that the current means of audit is going to be more covert to ensure that all those who don't comply are really seen. No VAT on electricity. If it is still going to be on the books, he says, if he becomes president, no VAT. If there will not be any emission tax, no betting. And then spare parts importers' duties will be at a flat rate per container, ranging for the 20 to the 40-footer container. For many of us who are related to people who do a lot of the work in the harbors, we know that. And then when it comes to skills training and job provision, collaboration with the private sector, train 1 million youth in 90 skills, including software developers. And if you go through the 70 pointers for which National Rental Assistance Scheme, which is also working well, he says, is going to be better fashioned out. And then that whole transition about importing the import duty on solar panels, because we want to make sure reduce emissions and reduce the greenhouse effect, etc., is also going to be there as well. There's going to be the establishment through the private sector, a London Bullion Market Association, and certified gold refinery in Ghana within 4 years if it becomes. And I think this is laudable, Mr. Hussein Issa. What do you make of them, the 70-point agenda?
Well, Roland, it depends. I mean, we could take it one after the other if you are specific. Else, I will have to.
Yeah. Now, there are specific issues that he talked about in terms of the taxes, if they are still on, and then even give a lot of tax rebate as well to ensure that we have proper tightening of the fiscal space. There's also accountability. And when you relate also to all this by the GRA, looks very laudable when we're talking about a bold vision.
Roland, what His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia Let me say a good morning to him and the entire team. We are really poised for victory. Come November or December, whichever day EC decides to organize elections, we are very poised for victory this year. And we are doing what has never been done before since 1993. We are breaking the 8 because we are very confident of our record. What we, as a party, the New Patriotic Party, is achieved for Ghana in the last 7 to 8 years, and what we have in store, the vision that the party has in store for the people of this country. Last Wednesday, the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party sought to lay out his vision and priorities for the good people of this country. We saw Dr. Bawumia's arrival in frontline politics in about 2008. We have since seen him go through 2 unsuccessful elections in 2008 and 2012. We saw his performance when we did put in the electoral petition post 2012 elections. And subsequently, his lectures that he's organized in this country, which has been the game changer, because prior to him, I can't really recollect any person seeking any office in Ghana putting academic or intellectual debate as a tool to getting elected. His ascension to the office of the vice president in 2017, what he's actually done or achieved, given the opportunity that Ghanaians and His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo gave him. And then for now, he is also assumed the flag bearership of the New Patriotic Party. So he is going into a new phase. It was important that we draw the line, or there's a cutoff as to Dr. Bawumia, the vice president that we have known over the years, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, the running mate to Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo that we have seen over the years, and Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, the flag bearer and leader of the New Patriotic Party. So he sought to actually give his own vision as enshrined in our constitution. Article 58, executive power is enshrined in the executive president,